I don't usually go out on Valentine's Day. It always felt forced to me. Too loud, too expensive, too many people trying to prove something. But last year was different. I had just moved into a new apartment in late January. Small place, third floor, overlooked a narrow street with flickering orange streetlights and a bakery that opened at 5:30 every morning. I worked remote then, so most of my days were quiet, predictable. That February 14th fell on a Wednesday, middle of the week, cold but not freezing, the kind of dry winter air that makes your nose sting when you breathe in. I had a date that night. Her name was Amara. We'd been talking for about 3 weeks, met through a friend. She seemed calm, thoughtful, not the dramatic type. We agreed to keep it simple. Dinner at a small Italian place downtown called Belloro's. Nothing fancy. Our reservation was for 8:30 p.m. At 6:17 p.m., I got the first strange detail. A text from an unknown number. It read, "You don't have to go tonight." That was it. No emoji, no punctuation after that. Just that one sentence. I stared at it for a minute. Thought it was a prank. Maybe one of my friends trying to mess with me because I told them I had a date. I replied, "Who is this?" No response. I brushed it off. Took a shower, shaved, ironed my shirt, dark blue button-down, sprayed too much cologne. The usual. At 7:52 p.m., as I was tying my shoes, another text came. Same number. "Table in the back corner. Don't sit with your back to the wall." My stomach tightened. I hadn't told anyone where we were going, and Belloro's did have a back corner table. I'd seen it on Google Maps when I looked up the place. I told myself it was coincidence, or maybe Amara had told someone and they were trying to be funny. Still, my hands felt colder than the air outside. I left at 8:05. The drive downtown took about 18 minutes without traffic. Valentine's traffic made it 27. Red brake lights stretching for blocks. Couples walking arm in arm. Street vendors selling cheap roses for triple the price. I kept checking my rearview mirror. Nothing unusual. Just a gray Toyota behind me for most of the drive. Could have been anyone. I parked 2 streets away at 8:34 p.m. The lot near the restaurant was full. As I locked my car, my phone buzzed again. "He's already there." That one made my chest feel hollow. I didn't respond. I told myself I was overthinking, that it was some dumb prank, that if something was wrong, Amara would say something. Belloro's was packed. Warm air hit me as I stepped inside. Garlic, wine, the low hum of conversations layered over soft instrumental music. The host smiled. "Reservation? Adam, party of 2. He checked his screen. Then he frowned. "You're already seated." I felt my heartbeat in my throat. "What?" "Your guest arrived about 15 minutes ago. Said you might be late." My hands felt numb. "Can you describe her?" He looked confused. "Dark hair, red dress. She's at your table." He gestured toward the back corner, exactly where the text said. I walked slowly. Every step felt heavy. And there she was. Amara, red dress, hair down, calm expression. She looked up and smiled. "You made it." I sat down. "You came early." She nodded. "Around 8:15. Why?" That was impossible. I had left my apartment at 8:05. It took 27 minutes to drive, unless she had left much earlier. I checked my phone under the table. 8:42 p.m. Another text. "Don't drink anything he sends." I felt sweat gather at the base of my neck. "He?" I muttered. "What?" Amara asked. "Nothing." A waiter approached. Tall guy, clean apron, thin smile. "Happy Valentine's," he said. "Can I start you off with a complimentary drink?" My pulse spiked. Complimentary. The restaurant was busy. I hadn't seen anyone else get one. "What kind?" I asked. "How special," he said. His eyes held mine just a little too long. I heard the text in my head. "Don't drink anything he sends." "I'm good with water," I said quickly. Amara hesitated. "I'll take it." "No," I said too fast. She looked at me strangely. "It's just a drink," she said softly. The waiter stood there waiting. "I think we'll both just have water." I forced a smile. His expression didn't change. He nodded once and walked away. My hands were shaking under the table. Amara leaned in. "Are you okay?" I didn't know how to answer. At 8:55 p.m., my phone buzzed again. "Bathroom, now!" I stood up abruptly. "Sorry," I said. "I'll be right back." The bathroom was narrow. One sink, 2 stalls, empty. I stared at my reflection. I looked pale. My phone vibrated in my hand. Another message. "He switched tables. He's closer now." I walked out slowly. The layout of Beloro's was simple. Tables packed close together. Candles on each one. I scanned the room casually. That's when I noticed him. A man sitting alone 2 tables away from ours. Mid-30s maybe. Clean haircut. Gray jacket. He wasn't eating. He was just watching. Not openly. But every time I glanced up, his eyes shifted a fraction too late. I sat back down. "Everything okay?" Amar asked. "Yeah," I lied. The waiter returned with water, no smile this time. He set the glasses down slowly. As he did, he leaned slightly toward me and whispered, "Enjoy your evening." His breath smelled faintly metallic. I didn't touch the water. Neither did Amara. At 9:12 p.m., another text. "He's not the only one." I felt cold all over. I looked around again. The man in the gray jacket was gone. His table was empty. No coat, no bill, nothing. Like he'd never been there. My heart started racing. "I think we should leave," I said quietly. Amara frowned. "We just ordered." "I'll pay. It's fine." Before she could argue, the lights flickered. Just once. Then again. A soft murmur spread through the restaurant. The music cut out for half a second. When the lights stabilized, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The candle on our table was out. Every other table's candle was still lit. Only ours was dark. And in the reflection of the window behind Amara, I saw someone standing directly behind me. Close. Too close. But when I turned around, there was no one there. My chair was inches from the wall. Nowhere for anyone to stand. I looked back at the window. The reflection was normal. Just us. My phone buzzed one final time. "He's behind you." I didn't turn around again. I didn't need to, because I felt it. The faintest pressure on the back of my chair, like someone's hand resting there. Just for a second, then gone. I stood up so fast my chair scraped loudly against the floor. "I'm sorry," I said to Amara. "I can't do this." I threw cash on the table. More than enough. People were staring. The waiter was nowhere in sight. Neither was the man in the gray jacket. We left. Cold air hit us hard outside. I checked the time. 9:26 p.m. My phone screen was dark. No new messages. I opened the unknown number thread. Empty. Every text was gone, like they'd never been sent. No notifications, no history, just my replies to nothing. Amara looked at me. "You've been acting strange all night." "I know," I said quietly. We stood there awkwardly under the streetlight. She eventually called an Uber. Silver Honda Civic. License plate I still remember. KJX4412. She hugged me quickly before getting in. "You'll tell me what that was about?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. I never did. I drove home alone. The gray Toyota from earlier was behind me again. Same cracked left headlight. It followed me for 6 blocks. Turned when I turned. Slowed when I slowed. Then 2 streets from my apartment, it kept going straight. I got home at 10:02 p.m. Locked the door. Checked every room. Nothing. I sat on my couch in silence. At 10:17 p.m., my phone buzzed one last time. A new message. From a different unknown number. Just 3 words. "Wrong Valentine." I tried calling it. Number not in service. I haven't gone out on Valentine's Day since, and I never saw Amara again. She stopped replying the next morning. Blocked maybe, or something else. But sometimes when I pass Beloro's downtown, I glance through the window. And every February 14th, that back corner table is empty. No matter how crowded the restaurant is. This happened 2 years before the restaurant thing. Different city, different apartment, different version of me. Back then, I was working evenings at a small electronics store in a strip mall off Highway 8. Valentine's Day fell on a Sunday that year. Cold rain all day. The kind that made parking lots shine under streetlights and turned sidewalks into mirrors. I closed at 9 p.m. Nothing unusual about that shift. A few last-minute guys buying headphones and phone cases as gifts. One dude bought a $12 USB lamp and asked if we sold wrapping paper. We didn't. By 9:17 p.m., I had locked up and was sitting in my car letting the windshield defog. My apartment was about 14 minutes away, second floor, Building C, Unit 204, beige walls, thin carpet. The heater rattled when it kicked on. I remember the time clearly because I checked it when my phone buzzed. 9:22 p.m. email notification, subject line, "Your Valentine surprise is on the way." I frowned. I hadn't ordered anything. I opened it. It looked legitimate, clean logo, order number, my full name, my exact address. Delivery scheduled between 11:30 p.m. and midnight. I figured it was a mistake, maybe marketing spam. I deleted it and drove home. The rain got heavier halfway there. Wipers on high, roads mostly empty. At a red light, I noticed a white cargo van in the lane next to me. No company logo, no markings, just plain white, tinted windows. I didn't think much of it. When the light turned green, it didn't move for a second. Then it rolled forward slowly. It ended up behind me for 3 turns. Again, could have been coincidence. It didn't follow me into my apartment complex, though. It kept going straight down Maple. I parked in my usual spot, 204B painted faintly on the curb. Inside, everything felt normal. Shoes by the door, laundry chair in the corner, the faint smell of detergent. At 10:11 p.m., I was on the couch watching some random crime show when my phone buzzed again. Another email. "Your delivery is arriving early. Estimated arrival, 11:48 p.m. Why that specific time? Why not just soon? I checked the sender address more carefully. It looked real, but something about it felt slightly off. 1 extra letter in the company name. Subtle. I told myself it was just spam again. At 11:32 p.m., I made tea. Rain still tapping steadily against the windows. The parking lot lights outside flickered occasionally. At 11:46 p.m., my power blinked once. Just a quick dip. The heater shut off, then came back. I stood still in the kitchen, listening. Nothing but rain. Then, at exactly 11:48 p.m., a knock. 3 slow taps. Not aggressive, not polite, just, measured. I froze. Nobody ever visited me that late. I walked quietly to the door but didn't open it. "Hello," I called through the wood. No answer. I checked the peephole. There was someone standing there. Too close to the door. All I could see was fabric. Dark jacket, no face. "Can I help you?" I asked. Still nothing. Then I heard it. The faint scrape of something being placed on the ground and slow footsteps walking away. I waited, counted to 20, then opened the door. The hallway was empty, but there was a small red box sitting on my doormat, about the size of a shoebox, wrapped in glossy paper with tiny white hearts. No shipping label, no name, just my apartment number written in black marker, 204. My stomach felt tight. I stepped into the hallway and looked toward the stairs. No sound. But at the far end of the walkway, near the corner where the stairs turned, I thought I saw movement, like someone stepping out of view. I grabbed the box and went inside, locked the door, double-locked it. The box felt light, too light. I set it on the kitchen counter and just stared at it for a full minute. It was stupid to be nervous. It was probably some dumb prank from coworkers. I peeled back the tape carefully, lifted the lid. Inside, There was nothing romantic about it. No chocolate, no card, just a small old flip phone. Black, scratched, battery taped in place. It was already on, screen glowing faintly, and it was recording, a timer counting upward. 00217, 00218, 00219. My throat went dry. I didn't touch it at first. I just leaned closer. The screen switched automatically to playback, and I saw my apartment door from outside, from the hallway. The angle was low, like someone had placed the phone near the railing earlier. The timestamp in the corner said 9:41 p.m. I hadn't even been home yet. The footage showed my empty door for a while. Then at 9:58 p.m., I appeared in frame, walking down the hallway, unlocking my door, going inside. The camera kept recording until 11:43 p.m. Then the video ended. My hands were shaking. Someone had been outside my apartment for almost 2 hours, watching, recording. I ran to the peephole again. Empty hallway, rain louder now. Then, my phone buzzed. Not the flip phone, mine. Text from unknown number. "Did you like your surprise?" I felt dizzy. I typed back, "Who is this?" 3 dots appeared immediately. "You didn't look happy." I backed away from the door, heart pounding so hard it hurt. "What do you want?" A pause, then, "Turn around." I didn't. I couldn't. But my body reacted before my brain did. I slowly turned toward my living room window. The blinds were half open, and in the reflection of the glass, I saw headlights, parked directly outside my building. A white cargo van, engine running, lights off except for the faint glow of the dashboard. It was positioned at an angle, facing my window. I couldn't see the driver. My phone buzzed again. "Wave!" I stepped back from the window instantly. My hands were numb. I grabbed the flip phone from the box and tried to power it off. It wouldn't turn off. Instead, it switched cameras. Now it was showing live footage from outside, from somewhere in the parking lot, pointed directly at my building. I could see my own window in the frame. Second floor, blinds slightly open. And then, the camera angle shifted, zoomed slightly, like someone adjusting it. My chest tightened. They weren't in the van. The van was empty. The camera was somewhere else, somewhere closer. My apartment felt smaller, too small. I turned off all the lights, every single one. The room went dark except for streetlight glow. Another text. "Don't hide." I called the police, hands shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. They said they'd send someone. I don't know how long it took. Felt like forever, maybe 7 minutes, maybe 15. When the patrol car finally pulled into the lot, the white van was gone. Just empty, wet pavement reflecting blue and red lights. The officer checked the area, knocked on neighbors' doors. Nothing. No one saw anything. No cameras in the complex. The flip phone? Dead. Wouldn't turn back on. They took it as evidence. I never heard anything about it again. The strange part? Management said no van matching that description had been seen entering that night. But I saw it, clear as day in the reflection. And 3 days later, I got another email. Subject line, "Delivery completed." No sender, no content, just that. I moved out 2 months later. Every Valentine since then, I park under bright lights, and I never open the door after 11 p.m., especially not at 11:48. This one happened last year. Different season, different kind of cold. It was early spring technically. February 14th had fallen on a Friday, but that year it didn't feel like Valentine's Day at all. The sky had been gray since morning. Not stormy, just heavy, like it was holding something back. I hadn't planned anything romantic. I was driving back from another state that evening, about a 2-hour trip from a site visit for a freelance project I'd taken. The job wrapped up late, around 6:40 p.m., and by the time I filled my tank and grabbed coffee, it was already dark. I remember the gas station clock clearly, 7:12 p.m. The highway was mostly empty once I merged onto Route 16. Long stretches of road, bare trees on both sides, occasional reflective road signs flashing in my headlights. It was the kind of drive where your thoughts get loud. About 25 minutes in, I noticed a red scarf on the side of the road. That's what caught my eye first. It was caught on the metal guardrail near mile marker 62. Bright red, almost glowing against the gray landscape. It felt out of place, but I kept driving. A few miles later, I realized something strange. I had passed mile marker 62 again. Same red scarf, same bend in the road, same dent in the guardrail. I frowned. That didn't make sense. Route 16 was straight for miles. No loops, no circular exits. I checked my GPS, still heading south. No rerouting, no wrong turns. I told myself it was just another marker I'd misread, but then I passed it again. Mile marker 62. Red scarf. This time I slowed down. My stomach felt tight. I glanced in the rearview mirror. No cars behind me, no headlights in the distance. The road was empty. I kept driving. Another 5 minutes. Another sign. Mile marker 62. Same scarf. This time I felt something colder than confusion. I pulled over, just briefly. Hazard lights on. I stepped out. The air was sharp, wind low but steady. It carried the faint smell of wet soil. I walked toward the guardrail. The scarf was real, soft fabric, slightly damp, wrapped tightly around the metal like it had been tied there deliberately. Not blown, tied. I looked around. The woods beyond the rail were thin but deep, bare branches, no movement, no sound except wind and distant hum of the highway. I untied the scarf without really thinking. It was warmer than I expected, like it had just been worn. That realization made me step back. I folded it once and placed it on my passenger seat. Then I got back in and drove. I didn't see mile marker 62 again after that. It jumped straight to 63, then 64. My heart didn't slow down though. Around 8:03 p.m., my phone buzzed. No service notification first, then suddenly full bars, then a text. Unknown number. Thank you for stopping. I felt my chest tighten. There's no logical explanation for that kind of timing. I hadn't told anyone where I was driving. I hadn't called anyone. I didn't respond. Another text. You weren't supposed to take it. I glanced at the scarf on the seat. It looked darker now, less bright, like the red had dulled. My breathing felt shallow. I sped up. A pair of headlights appeared in my rearview mirror. Far back at first, then closer, too close. The car behind me was a dark sedan. No visible plate from my angle. It didn't try to pass. It just stayed there, matching my speed. If I went 70, it went 70. If I slowed to 60, it slowed too. At 8:11 p.m., my phone buzzed again. Pull over. I didn't. The sedan flashed its headlights once, then again, not aggressive, just signaling. My hands were sweating against the steering wheel. The road ahead was empty for miles. No exits, no gas stations, just trees. The sedan moved slightly into the other lane, then back behind me, like it was testing me. Another text. Give it back. I grabbed the scarf and threw it into the back seat, like that would somehow fix it. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my ears. I pressed the gas. 80, 81. The sedan kept up effortlessly. Its headlights filled my rearview mirror completely now. Too bright. I couldn't see inside. Then, suddenly, it backed off, slowed dramatically. Within seconds, it was just two distant dots behind me, then gone. No turn signal, no exit, just gone. I kept driving, didn't slow down, didn't breathe normally. At 8:26 p.m., I reached a small rest area. I pulled in, lights overhead flickering slightly. Two trucks parked far off, no people visible. I needed to calm down. I stepped out. The air felt different here, still, too still. I walked around to the passenger side, opened the door. The scarf was no longer on the back seat. I stared at the empty leather. I checked the floor. Nothing. I checked the trunk. Nothing. My stomach dropped. I locked the car, backed away slowly. That's when I noticed something that made my throat close up. On the concrete near the front of my car, lying flat and perfectly placed, was the red scarf, folded neatly, like someone had set it there carefully. I hadn't seen anyone approach. I hadn't heard footsteps. The parking lot was silent. The trucks were still. I didn't move toward it. I didn't touch it again. Instead, I got back in the car and drove. Fast. I didn't check mirrors, didn't check my phone. I just drove. When I finally reached the city around 9:02 p.m., traffic picked up. Normal cars, normal noise. My phone buzzed one last time. Unknown number. Wrong turn at 62. That was it. No more messages after that. I checked my location history the next day. It showed no loops, no repeated mile markers, just a straight drive down Route 16. Mile marker 62 appeared only once on the map. I drove that highway again 3 months later during daylight. There is no guardrail at mile marker 62, just open field, no bend, no place for a scarf to be tied. I don't drive Route 16 anymore, and every Valentine's night around 8:03 p.m., my phone briefly loses signal, just for a second. Then it comes back. No notifications, just silence.